So, again, we come back, right? Because we can't, right? But it sounds like you're trying to convince me I did something wrong when really you did something wrong and you don't want to admit you're wrong, and you don't have to admit you're wrong. Because I can't prove you guilty beyond all reasonable doubt when I can, when you can. See, that's the point, too. Are you entitled to a defense? Yeah, but it can't be a false offense. It can't be a fraudulent defense, right? The defense, too, has to be within the law. Or it's not. Or it's not. See, it's against the law to forbid someone from entering evidence into the court when they were driving a stick, right? And have an ankle injury. And that's part of the evidence, right? You can't do that. I don't need to be a lawyer to know that. You know I know that. Anyone knows that. I know. It is what? But I'm fighting your system, I know. With God's help, you understand? Right? Not you, not you. See, what you're doing, God can't help you with. I know. The only one who seems to be helping you is the devil. Uh-oh, uh-oh. And the devil don't help nobody, not even himself.
And this is probably sacral promontory.
But that's part of walking by faith, not by sight. Ain't it?
And I believe that is all that we can gain from this image. Okay. This is an image where we're just starting to go through the femoral head.
But this is what faith is.
Here,
2 men in the Bible were healed of a
based on our location,
paralytic
that's
injury,
how we
right?
know that this
A third with Peter, James, and
is
John, right?
here
Two.
rama. We still have the bladder demonstrated,
And again.
with the rectum here.
Now, you even see here, this is the pelvis bone, right?
Here.
Right here. You see a difference here, right? What more can a person do but show you the injury, you know?
As we know, we have the acetabular here.
And I've been trying to get help for it since it happened, right? Since I realized it, right? That it wasn't being treated right. Like anyone else would, right?
Okay, so this is an image that it's kind of a little weird to be looking at. It's almost like you're looking down at the patient. And based on that, we have the false and the true pelvis. So based on our location here, we have this would be the true pelvis. This is false. That brings us to the muscles of the pelvis. We have the rectus abdominis. This can be visualized on the anterior surface of the abdomen and pelvis. The origination from the symphysis pubis extends to the xiphoid process and the costal cartilage of the 5th and 7th ribs. Basically, what I want you to know here is the functions. So the functions deflect the lumbar spine and support the abdomen. Keep that in mind. The gluteus maximus makes up the bulk of the buttocks, as everyone knows. The gluteus medius and minimus is deep to the gluteus maximus and smaller. So we're going to look for the gluteus medius and minimus being just deep or a little farther in than the gluteus maximus. Piriformis acts to rotate the thigh laterally, so piriformis will rotate the thigh laterally. Originates from the ilium and the sacrum, passes through the greater side notch, insert on the greater trochanter of the finger, and so it works with the greater trochanter of the finger.
Well, you mean like me, the officer would have to get a loan to pay me back? I mean,
So,
I understood that, right? And see, I'm not going for the full 15. The 15 is as much as you can get from him. So even if he pays me 5, right? Right. That was part of the point too, right? The same with Kia.
Is that
Yes, I can. It's called disclosure when I do this. So no. Watch my cousin Vinny, you quack judges. Even that's more lawyerly and lawly than you. In my crazy opinion.
the gluteus maximus.
And of course, I was saying for one point, but started hearing voices at another point, right? And wasn't reported as doing so before. The Navy, you know. Only after. Only while in the Navy.
So based on this, we'll go through a few basic points for anatomy. We have still some of the all up here. Sacrum.
Now, see, that's how it's supposed to look. Mine don't even remotely look that way, you know. Don't.
But the interior, so basically laying flat on the back.
Because I need help. See, I want to work even a part-time job, and you're giving me flack about that, even. I know. Yes, we are. Yes, you are.
And so we have a dividing line.
But I want to work a decent job, not flip burgers.
On both sides. So look for this dividing line as it will help you delineate where these muscles are. So we're going to say that this is inner. This is middle. This is upper. And so if we can discern this, what is inner, middle.
But this is also how you bear testimony that Jesus healed you. See.
Maximus artery. We know that the gluteus minimus is going to be.
You see, it ain't the same, right?
And so we see that here.
Not even a little.
Medius,
but what can I do? What can you do? But keep telling you my case. Until I get a great lawyer. I might be getting a decent lawyer. I don't know. But I need a great lawyer. I know you need a great lawyer. I might not have found one yet. I don't know. See, if the lawyer doesn't care about me, it don't matter either.
Once again, we have.
I can't do nothing with him either. Let's say he's doing me wrong too.
Which we saw with the abdomen.
See.
Very important.
Right. This is the same shot, right?
We have
here. But it's different, ain't it? Right? Mine's flatter.
You could also say that this is.
But I have to do it. I'm the one who was injured in the military.
We do have SI joints here. So this means that this is.
So you can't tell I'm injured there. No, compared to that one. No. Right, that ain't the same injury either. The same side, right?
But in terms of looking at the muscles,
but I'm having to play doctor like you're playing doctor to me. You mean? Right. You're playing doctor if you're not a real doctor too. Or you don't know how to deal with it either. Right. Well, see, this here is missing part of the pelvis itself, right? You see, that's the pelvis, right? And there's no pelvis there. That's weird. I know that's weird. Yeah, I only fell from a third-story window, right?
And so,
But you know, yet I wasn't attacked by a fellow sailor. And no, that don't look like that. That don't look like that either. No, because I can't prove it
but one thing that you
at
can
all.
all patients' body structures are
On
different,
base,
regardless of how large or small they are. And so, pretty much every
because they don't
patient
care.
applies, even though there can be a large
Maybe they were in the gay navy too,
that doesn't really change the
and can't come
same
forward.
based on
So,
everyone believes.
you understand? You understand?
No matter how
But not me. But not you.
fine a person's abdomen
Some of them even have wives that are in the gay navy. That's the problem. That is the problem.
will have these muscles, and so it applies to everyone. On this image, we have a little harder to see. We have gluteus maximus muscle here.
It's all I can do. If the lawyers won't help me, I gotta help myself. That's what God says. Help yourself. God helps those who help themselves, right? Never heard that either. And I can't make nobody take my case. Not that you don't get a third of it, right? If you do it right, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But like I said, if you get me more, we both get more, right? I know. But okay, don't believe me, believe the line officer who has something to hide. I know. Not the disabled veteran who was going to a CMP, but left in more than enough time and could stop in the intermediate, right? Whereas again,
but I would like you to know which resides in this area here.
They did not. She did not. She ran into me, and now what's the difference? If two cars in front of you are also making a left-hand turn, Officer Martin, and the woman has to swerve to avoid them and hits you instead in your left-hand lane, but you don't enter her side of the road. See, she's only got the straight lane. I got the turning lane, and I stopped here. Who hit whom? The bus having to go straight, or me stopping here? She would have to then swerve into me because of the two cars in front of me, right? That's what I'm saying. But you're trying to use it like it devoids all common sense and reasoning too. It don't. And I only have audio hallucinations. You know what that means, right? Not visual. That's another problem. No. I don't see things that aren't there. No, right. That's what that means. Never reported that either. Nope, not even after the doctor's in. But even then, what do you think I'm showing you? A difference. A difference, right? See? Is that how it's supposed to look? Yeah. And this ain't. You know, it's like one of these things is not like the other. One of these things ain't exactly the same. Little thing they would do in Sesame Street or something like that, right? Too. Exactly. You can't commit fraud either. Fraud is where you're willingly lying about something, and you know you're lying about it, right? But I'm not here to rule you. Oh no, I'm here to educate you, right? I'm more a teacher, right? And see, this is what proves this is the X-ray report after the car wreck, right? I know. And guess what? They did it all the way down too, right? Right foot, right femur, right hand, chest, cervical spine, and skull, right? It seems something's bothering you, and don't it? Don't it? And see, this is separated, right? Because you have other people telling their story as well as me telling mine. I
We
know.
have the redness of the horse muscle.
Mhm.
And so, if we look at the other side, we have here, here. And so, typically what we look for is
But that don't mean, like I said,
things to look
that
the same bilaterally.
there's not
And so,
a
I'd
reason
like you to
why
these
I still have the arthritis pain, right?
muscles here.
It's a thorn in the flesh, like Paul's eyesight,
It's
right?
kind of hard to discern here.
What that means is, even though he was healed of his vision problems after he was struck blind, and he still had issues with it afterwards,
That brings
right?
us to the pelvic organs. Many times we get so wrapped up in what the pelvis is
Yep.
that we often forget that there are organs.
And that's usually what the Christians say happened anyway. And
the first is the urinary bladder, which is a pyramid-shaped muscular organ that rests on the pelvic floor immediately posterior to the symphysis pubis. So, when you're doing your scans, to make sure that you get all of the bladder, make sure that you go well below the symphysis pubis. And as we know, it functions as a temporary storage of urine. In an adult, it takes around 250. Okay, on this drawing,
that's a cutout.
we have So on this image, we have the bladder getting ready to come in. We have the rectum.
Rural way. You all gotta be hiding something in your own way. In your own way. Only one who seems not to be hiding something is who? Me. I know.
Gluteus maximus. Coccyx. Okay, on this drawing, we see we have sacrum, coccyx, residing in this area here. Notice how the rectum.
But see, this will give me more faith if you try to shoot me. Yeah. Because if Jesus healed all that, he can heal me of a gunshot wound, like the spear wound was healed on him. And why do you think I keep declaring that too, right? Just in case you want to shoot my ass. You got weapons. I don't. I'm unarmed, right? You would shoot me just as well. So I wouldn't shoot you back.
And so we have a lot of things to pretty much put in a very tight area of the body. And so we have the bladder. Then we have the uterus. And this is to some degree urine. We do see that we have the rectum, or soon to be rectum. So on this image, we have it's kind of a density or lack of density there because it's black. And so on most of the images, it's going to be easily discernible. You have what looks to be the rectum here, and then you have the uterus in this area.
But who's pressuring you, the military or the government? The government. The government. Who's breaking their own laws? The government. No. Who's lying they don't have money when they probably do? The government. The government.
Structures. We're down kind of far because we're actually past.
Who don't want to play me right? The government. I know. Who wants to make it one person's fault? They're not doing the right thing. The government. The government.
Yeah, the vagina here, because we're out of the uterus now. We've actually just got into the vagina, and we are into the rectum here. And so notice that we'll disregard this triangle structure here, but notice that you have, once again, the bifurcation of the aorta. And so,
but like you only did me wrong too. I know. You think I'm just fighting for me or other veterans? You're doing wrong too, right? I'm fighting for us all. One case can turn the tide for us all. That's what you fear too. I know. You know you don't just owe me, don't you? Don't you? Right.
We're down farther. We actually
so
see
do I.
the sacral foramen here. SI joints bilaterally. And we have the external and the internal on both sides. Keep in mind that the external... Right.
So you're supposed to look like this, and
a contrast enhanced scan.
Now, if I can do this, once again, lawyers and judges, right?
Inside,
why aren't you helping me? Why aren't you helping me?
Residing here.
Are you writing me off as I'm so evil no one can help me because of the lie about my stepdaughter? Right? Who would have to walk into the living room somehow, right? And me not see her mother either, right? For me to even interact with her normally, right? I think she was in there by herself, right? And all I'm saying I would do is either help her go to the bathroom, and if I did so, or not, I also know she's not supposed to be in there with me longer than necessary, and would have to bring her back to her mother. Don't that sound rational? Yes. But it don't say the mentally ill can't sue you for malpractice if you're committing malpractice. No, it don't. No, it don't.
The internal iliacs are actually bifurcated.
I ain't saying I didn't hear voices. No. In the Navy. No. But where was it? In the Navy. In the Navy. No.
And this is posterior. As we can see the patient orientation, we see that this.
And like I said, mine's missing something. Something's supposed to be there.
So
it's gone.
This is the external.
That's weird. That's very weird. It's not even where it's supposed to be.
Somewhere around here. And so the internal has bifurcated into interior and posterior internal iliac arteries. So we see some degree of bifurcation. So if we refer back,
but see, I'm giving credit where credit is due, right? Now, see, these are the nerves and blood vessels and all that. Right?
We would see that we have.
You don't think that would do a lot of damage? You don't think God healed all that damage to the point that it's arthritis pain? Right? Yeah.
Here, which is basically what we're looking at into the interior and posterior.
But can you handle the miracle? That's the question as well. I know, right? This is a modern day miracle akin to the God lowered through the roof,
this
and
image.
right. Shows if they were injured, they could
Patient
be
doesn't
healed
look
by
like they
God,
have
right?
gross pathology
Don't
going
it?
on.
Yeah, yeah.
We are not sure what's going on.
Even if the injury remained,
Here,
right? Even.
got thickening of the bowel walls. Almost looks like a pre-coat.
But if you're doing something wrong and you're ignorant of what you're doing wrong, all someone who figured out what you're doing wrong can do is try to tell you.
What we're focusing on here is the femoral artery, which is here, which is what the external iliac artery has become as we're getting ready to go into the femur. I think that this is almost too soon here, based on this line. Usually, I think the femoral artery would be fine than this line.
But the higher a lawyer is supposed to be the higher a lawyer, right?
But as we want to see when we actually go into the lower extremities, it kind of becomes a little obscured where the division actually is. We do see that we have the acetabulum, sacrum. We're not going to worry about these inferior gluteal arteries, rectal arteries, and things like that, because it gets a little beyond our scope here. We won't worry about this image. Okay, this one, we see that we have the celiac.
Well, like I'm saying, I'm explaining why some sailors try to find a female in every port. That would be me. And some sailors don't, or they're married or something. And you understand that, of course.
And so, if we say that this is L5, this means this is L4, L3, L2, and L1. And so at L4, we see that we have the bifurcation here. The bifurcation returns us to left and right common iliac arteries. We don't really see the internal iliac arteries demonstrated really well on the right side, but the left side really is demonstrated very well. And so we have the left internal iliac arteries, and then we have continuation of the external iliac arteries on both the right and left side. This goes down into the lower extremities once again. Then we have the bifurcation here and here of the internal iliac arteries, which will yield us the.
Well, is it true? Can you damage the sacrum and still walk? Right.
Based on this bifurcation. So keep this little bifurcation in mind here, and know these.
I am.
As well. This image really is an oblique.
But then a hero comes along like Mariah Carey with the strength to carry on, right?
Here, it's pure mesenteric. Here,
can you tell the difference though? The hero might hear voices like Paul and Jesus, but does that mean he's crazy or having a religious experience? Which is the difference? He only hears the voice of God, right?
To, right and left
only God speaks to him. Only God speaks to him, right? And is telling him mysteries. Like, I didn't even know our ship would go to Jerusalem or Israel. Yet it went to Israel and we could have married in Jerusalem, Sheena.
And I think on this image you can really get a good grasp on where things are going, as this is internal.
But see, if I read things you haven't read, right? And you're not telling me you're wanting to wait for marriage, I don't know that, right?
So the internal iliac artery is going to
people in my church are jerking off with each other, apparently.
And so
they're even making a move on me a couple times before I met you. Right?
Here, which is the posterior and interior.
And I know you too, Miss Satan. Your condemnation of me is the Satan in you. I know. Because I didn't know you either.
Okay, going back.
Yet you went off with a strange man, let him pull down your shorts and panties, right? That's what you're supposed to do if you're a good Christian girl as well? No. Are you supposed to let me pull down my shorts and not tell me not to do something if you don't want me to do something?
Maximus.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have done it. No.
Louis
That's the
Maximus.
difference. It's a thin line between rape and consensual sex, too. But the one thing you have to say is, I'm waiting for marriage or no, right? You have to tell the other Christian that. Because you don't know what kind of Christian he is. No. And he's telling you he was backslid, right? When he met you in the letters, too, right? That means he wasn't who he was before he joined the Navy in the church, right?
Prostate gland.
And you are backslid too, right? You weren't exactly behaving like a proper Christian yourself, right? Were you? All Christian girls go off with a man that's 4 years older than them and goes to a park bench and lets him make out with her and suck on her boob. All Christian girls let him put on her shorts and panties? No. That's repentance. See, confession, Sheena, is I'm confessing what we did, right? That you see as a sin, right? What you're doing ain't confessing it, by the way. It's hiding it. It's covering it. Like Adam and Eve did in Eden. But the difference is I don't fear families and the contempt of a great multitude, right? You're feeling the contempt of families because we had sex under a tree in a park. I'm not. I'm repenting. I'm confessing what we did. Don't you think that's part of repentance? You have to confess publicly what you did. Even in the Salem witch trials, they're trying to make the witches admit they're witches, right? But I'm not a witch. God healed me,
Ischial or ischium here. And what this really wants you to see is the prostatic urethra. However, I can't discern anything in this area, and I wouldn't expect you to either. And so, don't worry about prostatic urethra.
And like I said, you don't think an accident can injure me where I wasn't injured before, like with the knee and the bubbles, right? I wasn't injured there, right?
As well as the spermatic cord. Really think you're kind of grasping at straws to really say that is the spermatic cord. We really can't demonstrate that very well. And so I think those two things are going to go beyond the scope of what CT can actually accomplish. Here is a female patient. We have that.